Alright, so Jailbreak just updated a couple of days ago now, and there are a lot of changes that not a lot of people have noticed. And believe it or not, some of them are actually pretty obvious as well. But yeah, let's not waste any more time and let's get into this. So first up, if you come over here to the new $1 million dealership, you will see that there's a glass roof on it. And if you touch it, it will break, and obviously you need that in order to get the army helicopter out of there, because if you don't have that, how else would you get the army helicopter out of there? So that's why it's in there. So you might think that whenever a vehicle touches it, it will break, but no, you're wrong. And let me just show you. So if you spawn in the Roadster or another vehicle like the Roadster and you drive on the glass, you will see that it will drive over it perfectly fine and nothing will happen to the vehicle or the glass at all. It just goes over it like nothing is happening at all. It's a bit weird. I don't know why this is happening. I think it's just because the suspension on the Roadster is a bit different from other vehicles. I think the glass only breaks when the body of a vehicle touches it. Because if I ram into the wall over here and I make the body of it touch the glass, yeah, you guys can see the glass will break because I just rammed in there and it made the body of the vehicle come down and touch the glass. So I think that's how you end up breaking it. One thing you should note while you're up here, for some reason when you hop out of your vehicle, the collision on the glass turns off. So like if I drive on here and I hop out, you guys can see I go just straight through the glass. And yeah, I don't know why this is. Even if I turn the gravity to 0 and I go through it, I could just... yeah, it's weird. But yeah, you can drive on this glass if you have a vehicle like the Roadster, so that's a cool thing. So the next one here you might think is a little bit obvious, but even with this being one of the most obvious changes in the update, some people haven't really noticed it. And it's the pirate ship over here. For some reason, people don't notice that the pirate ship is completely different from the original sloop that we have in the game right now. And for people that know how the sloop looks like, this is a pretty obvious change, but somehow there are still people out there that think that this looks exactly like the normal sloop. I don't know if they're just trolling or they're just a newer player and they don't know what the sloop looks like. But either way, for some reason, people really just haven't noticed that Asimo literally put the time into modeling a whole brand new pirate ship just for this one thing. Like, Asimo didn't have to do this for us. He could have just put the normal sloop here and moved on with everything. But no, he went that extra step and gave us an extra pirate ship. So yeah, thank you, Asimo. I really hope that this will become an actual vehicle one day, because honestly, I really like driving the sloop around, but it's just... it doesn't look that cool and epic like this, and I just really want them to add this in because it just looks so nice. Like, imagine a sloop revamp. Like, it would be looking like this and it would have like cannons on the side. That would be so cool. Like, I could just imagine myself in the new oceans over here having a fight with another Jailbreak player on one of these pirate ships. That would be so cool. Another thing is the terrain over here near Crater City has been changed up a little bit. Like, we've gotten a few new of these things here. Like, you have one here, you have a big one over here, and then you have a few over here, and then the terrain over here has been brought up a little bit. I believe it was like kind of like this, like a little triangle coming out of the mountain, but now it looks a little bit better and it looks like it actually blends in with the mountain instead of just coming out of it like a little triangle. So yeah, very, very cool, and I like this little change. Obviously, it's not the biggest thing, but it does make the Jailbreak expansion area look a little bit more crowded, and yeah, it's a good way to make a desert get filled up without actually adding buildings in there, because obviously deserts don't have buildings, so this is a good way to fill up the desert. But next up here, we have something here in this new level 4 base, and obviously this isn't going to be the biggest change in this update. Anyways, the thing that changed here is instead of not having any weapons in the level 4 base, we actually have some right over here. And they pretty much just took the table of weapons from over here and put it over here. But still, it's pretty useful if someone is camping the volcano base. Like, imagine this, you spawn into the volcano base here and a cop is camping you. You just run in here and then the cop is obviously going to catch up to you quite quickly because they'll probably tase you, but you'll come in here instead of grabbing guns here and then getting arrested easily, because you'll actually have to stop moving to grab the guns, because for some reason the click area for these things are incredibly small and weird, so you'll have to stop here to grab the weapons. So that can get you arrested extremely easily, but instead of doing that, you could just come through the store, grab some weapons here, and they won't even be able to come in here because they're not level 4. And they're also not a criminal, so they're not going to be able to come in here without being level 4 and being a criminal. So this is really, really useful for those situations. But next up here, we have some new ramp locations. So obviously in this update, our ramps got revamped and they're much better now, and they also help a lot more than the old ones because these ones aren't as chunky as the old ones, so it's much easier to go off. Like on the old ones, you'd get stuck in the middle of it and then you'd do a flip and you'd just fall onto the ground in front of it. It just was not cool. So they redid the ramps now and they're much better, but with that they also added some new locations. Like the ramp used to be here, but now there's another ramp here if you're going this direction. The ramp by the volcano base has also been redone as well, so it's much better, and it doesn't just fling you into this mountain right here like it used to. Oh, and here's actually one of the old ramps. As you guys can see, it's much chunkier than the old ones, so your car would easily get stuck on it. But over here at a new ramp, you guys can see it's not as chunky, so your car doesn't get stuck on it as easily. But yeah, there's also a new ramp over here. I believe this one over here is new as well, because there used to be one here, but it's over here now. So I think that's new, but there are a few other new ramp locations. I'm not going to point them all out, but yeah, these new ramps are pretty useful. I'm really excited to see how they change little situations in the game, like police chases, because obviously these are some pretty cool shortcuts. And I'll definitely find them useful because I really hated getting stuck on the old ones. They were just so annoying, and these new ramps are really helpful. But next up here, I just find this one extremely unnecessary and just not a good change. So obviously in front of the prison here, we have the season arena. This one says season 10, and there's a little mountain over here with the new macaron vehicle, and it looks very cool, and I like the design of this little arena. But the part of this thing that I find unnecessary and just ugly in general is, for some reason, Asimo thought it was a good idea to pee on the mountain. I'm not sure what was going through Asimo's mind at the time, but yeah, he might have peed on our season arena. Maybe Asimo accidentally wet his pants here because obviously Bad CC was sick, so maybe Bad CC was on the toilet and maybe he vomited all over it, so Asimo accidentally wet his pants here. I don't know what happened, but all I know is Asimo might have wet his pants over here, and honestly I hope he cleaned it up because it's kinda gross. Next up here we have the removed $1 million dealership in Crater City. So obviously before the most recent update, the $1 million dealership was moved over here, but Asimo ran a poll and it came out saying that the $1 million dealership should be moved to the town again. And yeah, the $1 million dealership has been removed because of that. So yeah, this building is back to normal now, and unfortunately, the Crater City $1 million dealership has been removed. Okay, next up here, I just found this actually, and for some reason, the roof on this control tower is it's just missing. Like, there's just a hole in the roof of this thing, and for some reason, you can't go through the hole. What? I don't even know what Asimo did, but for some reason, the roof on this thing is just gone. Wait, let's see if I come in here. Yeah, it's just missing. I don't know what Asimo did, but the roof on this thing, it's just gone. Let's see if Asimo did this at the other airport, because I hope he didn't, because the people operating the control tower might be getting rained on right now. And let's see over here, and yes, the roof is gone here as well. Okay, I don't know what Asimo did, but for some reason, he thought it was a good idea to remove the roofs on these things. But yeah, last up here, we have the changed level 4 police base. So before the update, there wasn't a path coming over here, but now there's a little concrete path leading into the level 4 base to make it so that you can easily access it, because before this little ramp was here, you would hit the edge of this little octagon here, and it was pretty hard to get in here. So yeah, I'm glad they added this little thing in here because it's really useful, and honestly I don't know why they had it before. But with that change, there was also a change inside the base itself. So to make the mini-map fit the new map, they obviously extended it in here, but with that they had to remove the waterfalls here, unfortunately, and they did push back the wall a bit. So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you've enjoyed it or you found it helpful in some sort of way, please consider leaving a like, or maybe even a subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.